Good morning.
Hi.
My name is, hold it, okay. I'm an enrolled tribal member out of California, and you mentioned the genocide and
Yeah.
effects that happened to our people. What are there any studies available about intergenerational trauma? How cannabis can be used or hemp can be used to deal with that?
Well, that's a really interesting question. First of all, multi-generational trauma is the basis of addiction. And the reason I mentioned the Aboriginal peoples is because it's the clearest example I can find. Because here you had people that actually had no addiction whatsoever prior to contact, even though they had access to substances. You know, there was hemp here for sure, and I don't know, alcohol in some areas, peyote for sure, but there was no addiction. If there was any substance used at all, it was purely ceremonial. There was tobacco, but there was no addiction to tobacco. It was used purely ceremonially. So as long as the context is right and the culture is healthy, you've got the responsible use of substances. Then you get this multi-generational trauma, which you know very, very well. I just read a book this summer called The Empire of the Summer Moon, and it's about the Comanches, who at some point were the most feared and militarily powerful native nation in the United States. One of the last chiefs, once the battle has been lost, their people have been confined to the reservations, he gets into peyote. And as a spiritual sacrament, as a way of dealing with the pain, as a way of healing. And when people criticize them, this is in the 1890s, his name is Quanah Parker. He was one of the last leaders of the Comanches. And when people criticized him for using this substance to contact God, to get in touch with a higher reality, you know what he said? He said something really telling. He said, I got this on my computer, he said, the white man goes to his church and talks about Jesus, but the Indian goes into his teepee and talks to Jesus. So I'm not aware of cannabis being used that way, but I can't see why it couldn't be. I can't see why it couldn't be. Again, it's set and setting, it's intention, guidance, and context. So that would be an interesting, certainly peyote is used that way. Certainly I work with this Peruvian plant called ayahuasca that's used that way. And I've used ayahuasca with native people here in BC on a very limited basis, but very encouraging results. I can see cannabis being used that way, depending again on who's guiding it and with what intention.
Thank you, Gabor, so much. Give it up for Gabor Maté.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gabor.